Hello everyone, welcome. In this game, I'm playing another 9-stone handicap game against KataGo. So KataGo is really challenging me here. It's unlikely that KataGo will prevail, but once again, winning or losing doesn't really matter here. What matters is that you learn how to protect your corners, right, by playing the proper joseki moves and really staying connected and staying alive when you're faced with this. So obviously this is for beginners, and some queue players might find this useful as well. If you're already a low down player, please feel free to explore some of the other contents here on my channel. So let's begin. KataGo is thinking. Okay, yeah, so of course, that's the approach, right? As beginners, you have to know how to play the approach. In the previous video, I showed you the kick, which is right here, right? This kick. But I think I'll vary this a little bit, right? The kick is the best move because it really prevents white from coming to the corner. But a conventional move like this small knight's move also works when you have a 9-stone handicap advantage. So white is playing on the left side here. So what would you do as black in this situation? You don't really have to answer it, right? That's something the beginners should keep in mind. You shouldn't have to answer every one of your opponent's moves. This is not forcing, right? This white move is not forcing. So what should we do? We should play somewhere else. We should just play a corner closer, right? These are the most solid moves that you can play from the start point. So these corner closers are what you should be doing. Again, is this forcing? Not really, right? This is the equivalent of white having played here first and black guarded the corner. But now white played here later than black did. So again, black could theoretically just play away. But just to demonstrate, right, how you can answer this move properly, again, this kicking move, very, very effective, especially when you already have a stone that's enclosing the corner, right? So all of these moves are very, very important for beginners to learn. And now what would you do? Now I can go on the offensive a little bit and try to attack white, right? Again, this stone is very solidly connected with this start point on the upper side. And now what white is trying to do is escaping toward the center, right? It's feeling the pressure from me. It doesn't have any ice base, doesn't have a base, right here on the upper side. So these two stones are trying to stay alive. And all black needs to do is, once again, stay connected. Now these stones are all connected very solidly. So is this forcing? Possibly, because whites can bend here and Atari, all kinds of moves. So what should black do in this situation? I would just play Miss Honey, Tiger's Mouth, keeping out the pressure on white. So white is trying to maneuver a little bit and just have to answer it, putting more pressure. I think I'm going on the offensive here. Maybe I should give KataGo a break. Because I do think c8, this third move, is actually really slow because I was expecting KataGo to play the corner approaches first. So once again, just connect, right? This is another move that beginners need to learn to connect. And is this forcing? Not really, but I want to guard against the 3-3 invasion after the kick. So I'll play another move here, right? So white cannot come in and make a living shape, right? So these are the basic shapes. If you want to guard the corner, it's a little slow, of course. It's on the second line, but it is a very solid move in this situation. So white is looking at the bend and the cut, Atari, it's cutting me off, right? So it's also expanding its own ice space on the left side. So it's trying to gain more ice space here. So what should I do? I'll just connect, right? So just play the easy moves, right? Get to the easy moves. go for the connecting moves. Might be a little slow, but these are the moves that beginners need to be able to play. So I'm playing as a high-level beginner, I think, for the purpose of these videos. Right? Again, just play the slow moves. Your goal is to beat KataGo by 0.5 points, right, when you're playing these games. Of course, if you play these moves properly, you are going to win. And KataGo really doesn't have a chance, right? So this is where, of course, the corner is still open on the upper right corner. And just to demonstrate, right, if we do not play the kick, we play a pincer on the right side, which is also fine, but you leave the corner open, and white can potentially come into the 3-3 point and take the corner territory. So this is just something that you should know. So white is playing a little faster now. Again, not playing the kick. Let's see if white does anything to the corner. Maybe this. Oh, this is a outdated joseki, right, as we say, but it's still being used, right? The recommended move is Q3, right here. But this move is an old joseki, right? So it's still being played. And in my joseki chapter, I have a very detailed explanation of this so-called obsolete joseki. So this is a curious move, right? Of course, it's trying to expand its ice base, its base on the lower side, but this kind of runs into a wall. So when you're faced with this hane is very important, keeping up the pressure on these two stones. And of course, playing the hane on the second line is very solid, right? White most likely is going to connect here, yes. Okay, so after this connection, what should black do? Black has two cutting points on the outside. Which one should you guard? I think either is fine, but if you guard here on the third line, that's a little too repetitive. So I would just connect on the outside. And this cut really doesn't exist, right? Because of the ladder, or black can just play this extension, and then this one white stone cannot do much. Black is very strong in this position. So white is playing the peep. I'll just connect, right? So my principle really is making sure that all of my stones are connected and none gets cut off, right? Because once you get cut off, there might be danger. So white is playing some of these moves. I think let's connect here. So this is a probing move, right? Very good move. If I capture it right here, then this will become sente, and white will be able to live in the corner very easily. If I play here, then white will play here, right? And then these three stones will be short on liberties, white can escape. So which is better? Personally, I like keeping up the pressure on this group, right? So I'll play here, white is probably going to come out this way, yes, right? Keeping up the pressure on these three stones. So what should I do? I think I'll come out and fight a little bit. Of course, there's this cutting point. White place the hane on the outside. I think, but I don't want these two white groups to connect. So let's see how well I can do here. I'll play the peep, right, to make sure that there's only one real eye down here. And then I keep up with the pressure on this white group. So they will have to escape toward the center, which it's trying to enclose me, right? So I cannot really push and cut because I have a weakness in this cut. So what should I do? and I'll just capture the stone, right? So that's really the great thing about this cut. And I do not have this push and cut because white can cut if I push and reduce my own liberties, basically. Right, so not much I can do to attack. So let's do some defensive work. Which is just protect the corner territory, right? This is what you can do. You don't have to worry about the center. Just make sure you protect the sides, the corners, and take this game. So this is where white is trying to start a fight. Maybe I should have just connected, right? Right, it's just really just trying all kinds of moves. Stay solid, right? Stay solid. Do you need to protect this cut? Not really, right? But you can strengthen this whole group on the right if you want. So of course, this is what you're going to see. Yeah, so 2 cutting points, a little danger. Just connect here. Yeah, so white is getting something going on the outside, but I think for this game, we've protected 3 of the 4 corners. This is a split right on the upper right. We have the side here, a little bit of the side here, and the upper side. So I think I did a good job defending against KataGo in this game. And of course, black is going to win this game very easily as long as you make sure that white does not take the entire center, right? And that's what we're trying to ensure here. So I'm going on the offensive. I'm trying to cut off these 2 white stones. And let's see if KataGo wants to save it or if it can save it. Yeah, so it's still playing the toughest moves possible. So even if you play handicap games against KataGo, KataGo is still playing pretty hard, which is a good thing, I think. Right, so I'm trying to surround these 2 stones. Can it escape? I don't think so. So it's playing these endgame moves now, right? On the second line, this is when you know it's probably going to try this 3-3 invasion. We'll see if that happens. Nope. Right, so it's just trying to determine the boundaries here. It's giving up on these 2 stones. So I'll just connect. Now the Tengen, the center star, is connected with the rest of the group, and whites will not have any other chance. Once again, just to make sure the corner is safe, I'll play an extra move here, and black will take this game, obviously, very easily. But again, it's not about winning or losing. It's not about beating KataGo or whatever. It's about learning how to play all of these very solid moves. So I'm starting to play. On the first line here, is this Incente? Not really. What else can I play? Any other big points on the board, right? You might want to reduce whites on the upper side here a little bit. Oh, now this is what they're getting at, right? If you connect, then white will cut, and there's another cut Atari here, then there will be trouble. So I think that's a good setup. But also it's a little bit slow because black could play elsewhere with that move. Yeah, so this is how you stay alive. Is there any endgame that is worth playing. Let's see. Yeah, so it's guarding against the capture of this stone. Play a move here to protect the territory here. Can I block here? I think so. It's just Incente. White is just playing a bunch of moves Incente, which you can learn from, of course. Just play the proper moves. Although this may or may not be the biggest move on the board. Right, so once again, it's protecting against the capture of this stone, and it has this really big honey and connect on the first line. But just capture this stone. Yeah, this is always very, very big. It's something that you should be able to spot, right? Once you connect, then this cut at D18 becomes a double Atari, so black must connect here to protect the corner territory. Connect here, because if I don't, then white potentially has ways to reduce some of the territory here. Okay, so white made 2 points out of this, which is pretty impressive, I think. So do I need to protect against this cut? Right, you just need to calculate, really. And the answer is no in this situation. Usually it's yes, but here it's no. White cannot play a net because these are all these stones on the third line. And yeah, and Atari all the way, black will be connected. So black is not really afraid. Yeah, so I just take this stone. Very, very redundant, as you can see. But this is how you make sure you win. A 9-stone handicap. This is a really great move, by the way. Right? This is actually reducing a lot of my points by playing. Right. So this is really kind of going on the offensive here. Ended up losing about 5 points here. Should have connected. Right. It's not just about whether your stone will get captured. Right. The stone is not getting captured, but white was able to reduce black's territory here. So really neat move. But luckily I started with more than 100 points of advantage. I was not really afraid of that, losing 5 points. I feel the more endgame I play, the more mistakes I make. But that's okay. Okay, so these are the calculations that I should have done more properly. Now this is just, right, fixing the boundaries. I'll play this Atari. We'll probably play right here. Yes. What should I do? I think I'll just capture here. Then you'll play here. So just a little annoying. Okay, so getting this back. Then this Atari be pretty big. Ooh, so I need to connect. This cut work? Not really. I'll just Atari, push, crawl all the way on the second line, and this should be safe. Yes, KataGo has resigned. Showed you a little bit of the end game here. And we can do an estimate. So black is actually not that much ahead, right? But the goal is to win, right? The goal is not to win by 100 points. The goal is to win by 0.5 points. So hopefully this gives you an idea, especially beginners, of how to play on the corners. I think the beginning is actually really, really important for all beginners, right? When you're first starting out, you don't know where to place your stones, but these videos are meant to guide you through the very first moves. And then the mid game is all about playing the moves that help you stay connected. They may be a little slow at the beginning, but these are the moves that you need to know first, right? Take it one step at a time, right? Of course, you might be saying to yourself, I will never get this 100-point advantage to begin with in the game, but let's learn one thing at a time, right? When we're playing these games against KataGo, what we're trying to accomplish is playing proper moves on the corners, and number two, staying connected, which means you will not get killed, right? None of the black groups got killed on the board. And that is a huge achievement for any beginner when you play a handicap game against KataGo. So this is how you do it. I'll do a few more of these, then I'll gradually reduce the stone handicap against KataGo, and that's where you'll see even I will be killed and KataGo will soon beat me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned. Thank you for watching.